as it turns out, lots of people are talking about this house right now. So I no longer feel like I need to talk it up so much because everyone else is doing that already. Okay, so I'm doing my February roundup because we have just a few days left of February really, and I don't anticipate I will be buying anything else in February. So I feel comfortable that I can do this without having to film little additional segments like I did last time. Okay, so I was pretty good in February actually. I have been sampling a lot more and buying a lot less. And I have only 3 new bottles to share with you, although technically 2 of them they're not full-size bottles. They're only little itty-bitty bottles. So I feel like they don't really count, but they do. For the purposes of my exercise and reining in my spending, they do count because I did buy them new, and the bottle that I bought is a tester that I bought from Facebook, so it was a lot cheaper than it would have been full price, a lot cheaper. Okay, so let's start with the new ones that I bought. And I was going to do a review of this whole house actually, because I can't get the box open. Because I actually really did enjoy every fragrance from this house. And I feel like I should be able to give it justice, you know, to talk about it. But as it turns out, lots of people are talking about this house right now. So I no longer feel like I need to talk it up so much because everyone else is doing that already. So the house is Matiere Premiere, and the story behind this is I saw somebody talking about these guys on Instagram quite some time ago, and I put a comment on the post saying that I was really curious to try it. The one that caught my attention actually is Santal Austral, because it's Australian sandalwood that they used in the fragrance. And anyway, so I put a comment on there saying, oh, you know, I'm really curious to try this house. And the perfume house, or the perfumer, responded to my comment, and then they DM'd me and said that they would send me out some scented blotters, which they did. So I've had this sort of, I don't know if you can see that very well. There we go. So that's, and I've scribbled all over it because I've made notes. But you get these scented blotters, and it worked quite well actually. I was a little bit skeptical about how well that was going to work, but it worked pretty well, and I can still smell them really well even now. And this is, I've had this for well, probably 2 months now. So yeah, they really do scent them quite well. So you get a really good feel for it. The only downside to this, though, of course, is though I appreciate that it's less cost to the perfume house, I really want to try them on skin first. So as it turns out, our local perfumery was recently running a masterclass on this house, and part of that, it's run online, and what they do is they send you out samples so that you can smell them, obviously. So I did that for the sole purpose of, well, also I wanted to learn about the house, but for the sole purpose of being able to get the samples and try it on my skin. I signed up for it, and it was really interesting actually. I learned some stuff that I may not have otherwise learnt about the house. There's 7 fragrances. I think there's 8 actually, but 1 is a Harrods exclusive, but 7 of them, I mean, they're just, I really like them. They're not super complicated fragrances, but they're not meant to be. They weren't designed to be really sort of, you know, Frederick Malle, take you on a journey for 12 hours type of thing. They are, each fragrance is centered around a particular note, and they really want to showcase that note. The one that I ultimately decided was my favorite from the house is Encens Suave. This is a really beautiful incense fragrance, And I really love frankincense. So this just smells amazing to me. So the frankincense is very prominent. And then there's a beautiful, I think it's Madagascan vanilla that's in here as well. So it's sort of in the dry down, it gets a little bit sweeter, but that frankincense is still there. It's a little bit smoky, not too much. It's kind of a little bit resinous. It's really, I really liked it. I know this house is, you know, kind of being hyped a little bit at the moment, but sometimes I feel that the hype is real because these are really good quality fragrances and I really enjoy wearing them. The other one that I did pick up in the little 6ml format, so I had the samples and then I pretty much used up my sample of Encens Suave in about 2 days. Here's the thing, I am trying really hard not to buy massive big bottles, and they've got these little beautiful 6ml mini sort of bottles, which are really super cute, but then the only next size up is a big 100ml bottle, and I just wasn't convinced that I wanted 100 mils. So although I'm going to eat my words in a minute when you see the next bottle, but in any case, I guess I was trying to be a little bit cost conscious as well. I think these retail in Australia for about $330 for the 100 mils, and I just wasn't sure I wanted to pay quite that much yet. The other one I really loved from this line, I mean, I loved all of them. They're really good fragrances. But the other one, did I mention this already? Parisian Musc. Parisian Musc was the other one that I bought in the little 6ml format. This is a really pretty vegetal musky scent. It's a musk fragrance, but the musk comes from ambrette seed, not animal musk. So they're vegan fragrances as well. And yeah, it just smells vegetal, a little bit sweet, and just very clean smelling. So I really enjoy this one. I don't know if this one is a love for me, but it is a little bit different to the type of thing that I normally go for. That's why I decided to buy one of the little 6ml ones of it. But yeah, the Encens Suave is definitely my favorite. Okay, so the only full size bottle that I bought in February was Amouage Beloved Woman. I adore this fragrance, and I didn't even know it existed until I bought, I think it was one of the bottles that I bought in January through Facebook. Whoever I bought it off threw in a sample of this, and like I said, I didn't even know this fragrance existed, and I tried it and I just fell in love with it. I was hoarding my little 2ml sample for ages. I just put it on my hand and I would just sit there like this all day. People on my Zoom meetings for work must have thought I was crazy because I was just like this all the time. And then I put a call out on the Facebook group to see if anyone had, you know, was selling, you know, a partial bottle of this or a sample or something. And then somebody else tagged somebody else in that post. This is a really long-winded story, I'm sorry. Somebody who had a bottle to sell. This is a tester bottle, so the cap isn't actually magnetic, but it was a lot cheaper than a full bottle of this. Less than half price of the full bottle, I might add. So I was sort of going, oh, it's 100 mils, you know, do I really need 100 mils of it? And I decided ultimately that yes, I did need 100 mils of this because I want this to be in my perfume wardrobe forever, for the rest of my life. I love it that much. I don't know if I can really do this justice yet, talking about it, but I can tell you this is a really beautiful vintage style. I think Amouage classify this as a woody sheep, but man, it is so good. I feel like I get everything from spices like clove and cinnamon. There's a bit of cumin in here, but it's not sweaty cumin at all. I mean, I have been sampling another one from Amouage lately called Jubilation 25. That one, the cumin in that is a bit more sort of in your face, sort of sweaty BO kind of cumin. In this one, it's not. It just complements everything in here beautifully. I feel like I get you know, dark fruits and big florals and woods, but the woods aren't sharp at all. They're really soft. There's no sharp edges in this fragrance at all. It's just so soft and oh, I love it. I love it. So there you have it. That was my one full bottle that I bought in February. But of course, I can't just go through and buy things. I have to get rid of things too. So there have been 3 sacrifices in February from my collection. The first one I actually don't have to show you because I've already sold it. It was Dior Homme Parfum. It's the really dark one, the very leather laden one. I really liked it. I didn't dislike it, but I much prefer Dior Homme Intense. And now that I have a bottle of the Dior Homme EDT Silver Stem, I don't feel like, I just knew that the Dior Homme Parfum was never going to get any attention. And Matt didn't really like it either. He didn't like the leatheriness of it, so I decided to let somebody else enjoy it. So that one has gone. The next one I feel a little bit guilty about because it was given to me as a gift, but I also just don't gravitate towards it. And I also have a little mini of this as well. This is Jo Malone Grapefruit Cologne, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just very grapefruity, and it just doesn't excite me that much. I think I've worn it once since I've had it, and I just don't feel like I need to hold on to it. So I want this to go to somebody who actually is going to wear it because it deserves to be worn. And the last one I am decluttering is Icy Citrus by Panna London. This one I bought a couple of years ago as a blind buy. Sebastian was reviewing this house, and I liked the sound of this one because I live in a very hot climate, and I thought it would be really good. It's kind of a gimmicky fragrance. It has something in it that cools your skin when you sweat. So it's kind of like I don't know, it's in a similar way that menthol does, you know. So it, when you put it on, and if you're in the heat and you sweat, it sort of cools your skin, but it doesn't really do anything to make you feel cooler. You just get this sort of tingly sensation on your skin. But I think the thing in here that gives it that sensation is the thing that I think it might have a smell to it, kind of like a bit of mentholy type thing, and I don't really like it. It's a bit sharp to me, so I've decided to declutter that. There are some other, I did get some samples when I bought this from this house, and I did like some of their other samples. They have been talked about a lot. I think there's like one called Champagne Truffle or something, and then there's like a gourmand orange one that's also been very popular, but this one did not work out for me, so it's going. So there you go, that's my February roundup. Hopefully I will be able to stick through the next week without buying anything, so I don't have to make any annotations to this video like I did last time. But yeah, anyway, thank you very much for joining me. Let me know if there's any that you've decluttered or new purchases that you've made in February. I'm very keen to hear. But otherwise, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.